Thank you so much.
You know, Meg, we talk a lot about the Tea Parties spreading across the nation now. The movement is growing. We know that. Where is it headed? From Montana over the weekend, the cities and towns from coast to coast. Apparently, they had 1,000 people turn out in Montana over the weekend. People are doing what they call the tax and spend policy debate and revolt in the current administration and in Congress. And they're gearing up for the mother of all Tea Parties. Protests will be held nationwide on Tax Day next week, April 15th. This group says we're not aligned with Republicans. We're not aligned with Democrats. We're just sick and tired of spending money in Washington. Bob Beckel, former campaign manager for the Walter Mondale campaign, a Fox News contributor, and Andrew Tanteros, FoxNews.com contributor and a Republican consultant. Good morning to both of you. How are you doing?
Fine, Bill.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out which way we're going on this, Dale. Andrea, how is it changing maybe the political debate in this country?
Well, finally, you see an uprising from the heartland, which I don't think we've seen in a long time. People are finally paying attention to Washington. And the real prize here, Bill, is going to be the 2010 election. So Bob's just going to write off these Tea Parties and brush them under the rug. But these are serious. It's like a boiling pot. You see bubbles all over the country. This is eventually going to turn into a revolution, I believe. You know, the French Revolution started with a tax revolt that nobody saw coming. This is the exact same thing, but it's not about the money, Bill. We talk about people angry about taxing and spending. This is a cultural revolution. It's a culture war. People are fighting against Barack Obama's radical shift to turn us into Europe. So this is much larger than just the dollar sign.
What I find fascinating is much like the Obama campaign in the early days, really recruited a lot of its supporters through a grassroots operation on the internet. That's what the Tea Parties are doing as well. Now, Bob, I know you don't believe that the turnouts have been impressive. I don't know, a month ago you had 4,000 on the Sunday afternoon in Cincinnati. The following week you had 5,000 in Orlando, Florida. I think the last big political rally they held in my hometown of Cincinnati was during the Vietnam War.
They had one in the Vietnam War in Cincinnati. You can't get much more Republican than Cincinnati. I didn't know that. Look, these Tea Parties are nothing new. Secondly, that one in Montana, it's a good thing it wasn't a vodka party because I'll guarantee you most of those people had guns. And the other thing I will tell you is this is not new. When you say they're not aligned with the Republican Party, this is being perpetuated throughout the internet by the same right-wing conservative tax groups that have aligned with the Republican Party. And I don't expect that they're going to get that big a turnout. And one of the reasons is that for 95% of Americans, they're going to get their taxes cut. Andrew talks about the uprisings in the French Revolution had something to do with a tax increase. That may or may not be historically accurate. It doesn't matter. There is no tax increase to argue.
So you're just kissing this
by the way, the
off,
socialism thing, you guys got a little tired of that.
So you give this no credence, Bob?
I give it so little credence. I mean, it's not new, Bill. I mean, every April 15th, the American Taxpayers Union and the rest of these groups try to get people to rally. They may be a little bigger this time because there's been a lot more internet chatter about it.
Before we even get to April 15th, I see it an entirely different way. And here's how I see it. The bailout rage started with the Tea Parties. And once the politicians in Washington, both Democrats and Republicans, started to see the turnouts, that's when they figured out that they had to channel some of the rage, too. And that's where you got to the AIG bonus deal. Andrea, go ahead.
And we haven't even seen the effects of Barack Obama's policies. So this is just Barack Obama talking about his policies. Imagine next year's tax day. I mean, Bob, you can shake your head and just think, you know, oh, let them eat government cheese instead of let them eat cake, because that's essentially what Barack Obama is saying. But this is a serious issue, and Barack Obama's polling shows it. I mean, he's gone down with independents. This isn't just a Republican issue anymore. This is an American issue, and it's very true. I mean, you laugh about the socialism in Europe, but Europe has promoted mediocrity and stagnant economies for the last few decades. I mean, you can't tell us that we are going in a drastic leftward lurch that is essentially going to turn us into a European socialist welfare state. And that's why people are furious.
Squeeze in, Bob. Final comment, Bob?
Well, my final comment is just ridiculous. We're about as far away from socialism. That was very clear on Obama's trip. And Bill, I understand your analysis.
Yes, it was very clear the Europeans were
Let me just say that your point. My point is that the reason you sit in the big anchor chair is because you do that analysis on news. I do my analysis on politics, and I'm telling you the politics of these Tea Parties is not going to change anything in Washington.
All right, Bob, thank you for your time. Andrew, thanks to you as well.
One thing you have to be determined.
We'll talk before then.
Yeah,
Thanks
we
for both of
will.
you. Have a good Monday, okay? 22 minutes before the hour now. If you want to know more about the Tea Party movement, if there's one happening near you, head to our website, foxnews.com/America's Newsroom. We have an entire section devoted to the growing Tea Party movement. That's our America's Newsroom website online. All the information you need to know. Check it out right now. Available to you. You know the shotgun wedding, right?